Welcome back, nerds and news hunters, to my channel, and today we have a special build for you guys. But before then, we take a look at my channel here. You can find more builds on my channel, and remember to subscribe as well. And you can see my buddy's Stoney's channel right here. Please click on his channel and go check out his Wolcen videos as well. Well, without further ado, let's carry on. Oh man, oh my god, what a week. So this week I've been going through all the veteran dungeons, and you can see here I've now reached the champion mode, and this build is insane, guys. It's really going to get you through all the veteran dungeons without any issues. And as you can see here, we're starting up in the champion mode. I just want to show you guys that what this build is about. You're going to place down 2 turrets, and once you have 2 turrets, which is the maximum that you can have, you can just stand back and use your phantom blades as well to get the enemies down. So these are the 2 damage dealing skills that you will be using in this build, right? And you have got Mark of Impurity as well, and this is set up for single targets only, so you can get extra DPS and extra vulnerability going on the special mobs. So you would use these on the harder mobs, and you also have the healing ability at the bar as well, you know, to get some healing back. And it's set also to get some stamina back, because it's really important that you dodge stuff to keep alive at all times. And finally we got Warpath as well, and this is used as ability to get away from danger. When you get locked in by multiple mobs, you can use this to actually get out of these situations, and which is pretty handy. And you can also use it to advance on the map faster, you know, as a movement faster movement speed, which is really nice. So this is how the build really works, and there's also a lot of different kind of gear that you need, and spells. We need to go into detail with the spells as well. So but I guarantee you guys, if you set up this build, it will take you through all the veteran dungeons and carry you on into the champion mode, which is really awesome. I think this might be the only build guide out there that is really set up in a way like this, that you can use it to carry on and get through all the veteran dungeons. So without further ado, let's take a look at everything else about this build. So here we are taking a look at the stats. As you can see, I've been spending points in ferocity and in toughness and in wisdom as well. The rest is from gear, and it brings us up on over 200 extra bonus damage when I you know, have spent the points like this. And you can see the average damage here, 1066, and all our different kind of ailments that we can apply, and the poison chance is 18.7%. This is why I spend a little bit of points in wisdom, because I want to apply my my poison, and it's actually doing some pretty handy damage on the targets as well, especially when you're just placing down a turret, you know. And yeah, it works out pretty well, guys. You can take a look at these stats, and let's move on. So next up, we're taking a look here at the passive skill tree and how I make this build. So let's see here, we have spent some points to get some extra health, to be able to survive a little bit more, take a few hits, you know, and getting the melee damage up and critical hit damage, ferocity as well, extra damage, crit damage here, and moving down into the assassination tree here, picking up extra attack speed and critical hit chance. And then we are going to move down and pick this major node down here that grant us, you know, we get the agility here and 30% extra damage when only one enemy is within 7 meters. That means more damage on the bosses, right? Projectiles and melee weapon damage, these are both handy for us when we are wielding a dagger for this build. Maximum health here, some spell damage and ailment damage as well, and force shield as well, because we're doing like a mix of gear, and we want to keep both force shield and health up. So moving over here in the Warmonger session, getting some melee damage and attack damage, we're going to pick up the melee weapon damage here as well, which is buffing up our turrets when we are wielding a dagger, right? And 25 ferocity. And finally, we're finishing off here with this multiplier that will give us more damage as the more rage that we have. So you get 2% extra damage per 100 unspent rage point. So it's about keeping that rage up at all times. And the time has come to take a look at the skills now, guys. So we're using the Avenger Outer Turret, and with these modifications, increased damage, and the turret gains an additional cannon. So it will do twice the damage really, and it can auto-target enemies and allows you to summon a second turret as well. So we're going to keep 2 turrets up at all times, and it's doing quite a lot of damage, to be honest. Now we have Phantom Blades, increased damage, can hold 1 additional charge, increased area of effect, and the projectile circles around the cursor's location. So we have an opportunity of, choosing the location of where will cast this. And Mark of Impurity is set up for single target here. Marked enemies take increased damage from ailments. Marked enemies are more likely to be affected with the elements as well. Marked enemies take increased critical damage, right? Marked enemies are more vulnerable, and marked enemies are slowed as well. So this is perfect for doing the boss fights. Now we have also, let's see, 1 second here. We also have the Bulwark, but yeah. My point being is that it's very important that you have this Mark of Impurity on the bosses, right? Because it's going to do a lot of extra damage. We grant some extra increased duration here, increased resistances, and the healing follows the player that it was cast on as well, and it helps us to regain the stamina. And oh, here we are missing a point here. We're going to spend it here in the last section. Now increased movement speed, and we can hold the key to prolong the skill, and we are going to leave a damaging area on the ground as well when we have used this ability. So let's take a look at the gear here. We are using this dagger curved blade with Sacred Ether and Shadow Gems inside it, and it's going to give a lot of damage, for the turrets. And running with these at a boot, we have a sort of a mixed build here, using some sorcerer items and different kind of items. One particular is this Quintet of Sundowns. It's really important that you have this shield, so you can use the healing ability as well. And remember, here on the legs, try if you can get some dodge chance. It's really important to get dodge. We get dodge chance here on O'Malley's Lucky Belt as well, and you can see the chest piece also has dodge gems in it. And we're using 2 of these, Shield of the Arbiter, to get the melee attack up to multiply the damage for the turrets. And you can pause along the way here to see the stats that I have on each item, right? I'm using everything I can to get some resistances for every kind of sort of damage, and to get toughness and to get ferocity, and really buff that up. Get toughness, ferocity, and everything that can buff up your melee attack damage, right? Or your spell damage, that could work as well, but the more you stack on the melee side, the better. And now we're using this helmet as well. This is also a key item, Bloodlust, to gain a lot of extra ferocity and critical hit damage and life leech on bleeding targets. And you can get targets to bleed when you're using Phantom Blades, so this is really working well. And you can see here I have this Ruby Amulet, 20 ferocity on the item and in the gem as well. It's getting a lot of extra damage from this, and extra physical and toxic damage to attacks. Now, yeah, try to get as high level as possible on the items, and improve it at all times. So just at the end here, I'm just gonna try and sum up for some more important tips and tricks for this build, guys. As you can see, I got a willpower potion and a rage potion as well, and I I've done it this way because, you know, mainly you're running with full rage to have as high damage as possible, right? And when you need to use your healing ability, you don't have any willpower, so you have to have a willpower potion in order to drink of this potion, you know, and use your healing ability. I know it works out maybe a little bit clunky, but even when you work with it, you know, it can be even better, right? So, also try to get the unique items that I just showed you, and always place up 2 turrets, and then you should be safe to standing back and using your phantom blades. And remember to use mark of impurity on bosses or harder targets. And really, it's about progressing, guys. Try to stay out of damage, and, you know, place down the turrets and walk a little bit backwards. You can walk in circular movements as well. And yeah, for some of the bosses, you know, you can do circular movements. It's working out pretty well. And normally, if I have one of the thugs, you know, they jump on you and follow you and move really quickly, I try to kite them around something circular and try to stay alive, just a bit like I'm doing right here, right? So, well, this build got me through all the veteran dungeons, and I really hope that it will do the same for you. If you like my build, please like this video, and also subscribe for even more great build guides in the future from my channel. And, well, I love that you're here, guys, and I would like to see you again. So, see you guys later. Bye bye.